today we're going to be making a chicken, pork and king prawn chow mein.
Yep, so...
Just going to show you the ingredients that you're going to need to do this Chinese dish.
Which is, so start from over here.
First of all, you're going to need about 10 ounces or 275 grams of egg noodles. These are the medium ones.
You can find these anywhere in any store or anything like that.
You're going to need 1 tablespoon of Chinese rice wine vinegar.
Yeah, that's it right there.
Which is that. You can get that from most supermarkets. 1 tablespoon of dark soya sauce.
Which is this thing here, yeah.
1 teaspoon of sugar.
We've got a lot of sugar in there, but we're not going to use all of it. Right.
Then we've got a bowl here with our chicken breasts, about 3 small chicken breasts, which I've sliced already, and pork, which comes like that, the stir-fry pork.
Yep.
If you can't get the pre-cut pork like that, you can just buy any boneless pork and just chop it into strips like that yourself.
Yeah.
We've got our king prawns here, raw.
Yep.
We're going to need 3 tablespoons of vegetable oil.
Yep.
We're going to need 1 teaspoon of grated root ginger, which I've already done there.
Just this stuff here.
You're going to need 1 leek, finely sliced.
Yep.
1 red pepper, cut into strips.
As you see that there, yep.
1 can of bamboo shoots. You can get these in most supermarkets nowadays. We're going to need 1/4 pint or 140 millilitres of our chicken stock, which has already been made in there.
Yep.
We've got 30 ounces, I beg your pardon, 30 grams or 1 ounce of peas in our bowl there.
Which is this much, see there.
We're going to need 1 teaspoon of corn flour, some water to add to the corn flour a bit later on, and some salt and pepper for seasoning.
Yep,
right,
great.
Next stage, we're going to soak our noodles with some boiling water for about 8 minutes.
How much of that do you need?
Just until you've covered most of them.
Yep.
Or follow the directions on the packet of the noodles that you have. That should be about right.
Yep.
Now, for our meats, we're going to marinate these while we're...
Tablespoon there.
Yeah, this is our dark soya sauce. So we're going to add 1 tablespoon of our dark soya sauce.
Yep.
And we're also going to add 1 tablespoon of our Chinese rice wine vinegar. And then 1 teaspoon of sugar. And my hands are clean. What we're going to do is just marinate all of the meat into those juices, and then we can set that aside while we continue with our next step. Right, We've got our meats marinating. We're going to leave that to one side for about 15 minutes. We've got our noodles that are in the boiling water. We're going to leave them for about 8 minutes. And the next step is to add 3 tablespoons of vegetable oil to your wok. Okay, I'm just going to turn that on now and get some heat in there. Right, the first thing that you're going to add into your wok is your leek and your grated ginger.
Okay.
I'm just going to let that warm up for a few more seconds so it makes a sizzle when we put it in.
Should be ready about now. Yep.
Give it a go. That's it. It might seem like a lot of leek, but when this starts to cook, it starts to reduce in size. Now, I'm going to fry this up for about 2 minutes.
And we'll come back when that's complete.
Right, you've had the leek and the ginger frying for about 2 minutes now. Next thing we're going to do is add a sliced red pepper. And also our tinned bamboo shoots. Put them in.
So do we leave the mushrooms or...?
We're going to leave the mushrooms because they don't take as long to fry. Going to stir those in for about 2 more minutes. And then once I've done that, I'm going to add the mushrooms.
Okay.
Okay, so we've got our red pepper, And our bamboo shoots, stir frying for about 2 minutes. And now I'm going to add our sliced mushrooms.
Okay.
I'm going to continue to fry these up for another minute or so. Okay, so we've had our red pepper and our bamboo shoots, stir frying for about 2 minutes. And now I'm going to add our sliced mushrooms.
Okay.
I'm going to continue to fry these up for another minute or so. Okay, so now our mushrooms are almost cooked. What we're going to do is we're going to remove the vegetables from the wok, put them into a dish or on a plate for now, because what we're going to need to do next is add a touch more vegetable oil to our wok, turn up the heat and start frying off our meat. Okay, so I've added a couple more tablespoons of oil to our wok. I've turned up the heat, and next I'm going to fry off our meat. This isn't going to take very long, about 4 minutes. Just make sure it's cooked through. You see it's already starting to cook. We've got a very hot wok here, so it's not going to take very long at all. Just make sure it's all evenly cooked. Okay, so just keep stirring it every now and then for roughly 4 minutes or until you can see the meat is cooked through. Okay, so the meat's been cooking for about 4 minutes now, as you can see. It's pretty much cooked all the way through. Next step is to return the vegetables that we cooked earlier back to the wok and
basically just stir it in, yeah.
Mix it all in with the meat. I'm going to combine all those juices that you can see down there, look, with the vegetables. Continue to give that a stir for about another minute. Okay, combine now the meat, the cooked meat with the cooked vegetables. At this stage I'm going to add my prawns. If you'd rather not add prawns to meat, then you can just skip this all together, but I think it tastes nice with prawns in. So I'm going to add my raw king prawns. They don't take very long to cook at all, so I'm just going to give them a quick mix, and then I'm going to move on to the next stage, which is to stir in our chicken stock, 1/4 of a pint. I've got more than 1/4 of a pint in there, but I'm not going to use all of this. I'm going to stir in some stock. I'm going to do this gradually. I'm going to pour a bit of my stock in, give it a stir, and then repeat the process. Okay, so I've been gradually stirring in my chicken stock. It's all in there now, as you can see. It's looking more like a soup than a stir fry. And the prawns are cooked through as well. At this stage I'm going to add my frozen peas.
Do you want to add the whole lot, or?
I don't like too many peas in it, but you can add as many or as few as you like, really. I think that's going to be enough. Give those a stir. Now we want to thicken up this sauce to make it look a little bit like a chow mein. And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to use the corn flour mixed with the water. And this is the bowl that I marinated my meat in. And there's still some juices left in the bowl. So I'm also going to add those juices to the corn flour. A little stir. And then I'm going to add it to the rest of our ingredients. And what will happen now is that this should start to thicken. Give it a bit of a stir. And it's starting to thicken already, as you can see. So carry on doing this stage until all this juice thickens, yeah, and reduces down. Okay, I'm going to turn the heat down a little bit because this is thickening up lovely now. I'm just going to leave that for a second with the heat turned down slightly.
So we can simmer.
What I'm going to do now is I'm going to drain the noodles that I've been soaking because they are done. Just bring them over here. Drain them in there.
And then just leave them in any, like, one of those bowls.
Okay, it's starting to look a bit more like a chow mein now. Right, our next stage is, next stage, add some of these noodles. These are already cooked, so basically we're just going to stir them into
Chow mein.
chow mein.
Nice.
Right, and coat all these noodles with all the sauce. The vegetables all mixed through, and all the meat and the prawns. Need quite a strong hand to do this. Quite a lot of food in this pocket right now. So with the heat turned down, just give your ingredients in your wok a good old mix together. You might find is that there's quite a lot of meat and veg and not enough noodles. You can just go ahead and add more if you think that you're going to need more. I think I've got about enough in there now. Okay, so we've had the heat turned down on a low setting. We've added our noodles. I've given them a good old stir. Last thing to do is to get some bean sprouts and just sprinkle them in. Again, you can use as few or as many as you please. I quite like these, so I'm going to add quite a lot. I'm just going to give them a stir in. We don't want these to cook too much. I prefer them when they've got a bit of a bite to them than when they're all soggy. So again, I'm just going to keep stirring them in. We've had our bean sprouts.
Looking more like a chow mein now, isn't it?
Added in there. And final thing to do is to season our chow mein. A little bit of salt, and a little bit of pepper, with a bit of an old stir. Not too much salt, I don't think. Half a teaspoon, I'd say. And again, give it a good old mix. Now, at this stage, if you wanted to, you could add yourself some chopped chilies, or add some chili powder or something like that, so that you can heat this dish up. If you're not into spices, then you can just leave it like this.
Okay.
I'm just going to serve it on a plate and show you what you can serve. And there you have it. There's our chicken, pork and king prawn chow mein with some spicy Indonesian crackers, I think they are actually.
Yeah.
To go with it.
So
and this is a dish. Very popular.
Looks very nice.
In China.
So please
or in a Chinese restaurant, I should say. And that's it.
Okay, please like, subscribe for more videos.